watch out for the games that really care about the people playing, that really care about the people who are purchasing NFTs, that really care about people enjoying it. Because when people enjoy it, when there's a sense of enjoyment in the game that they have, people will come back eh. And that's ultimate utility. Hey guys, so in this video, I want to share my thoughts about play-to-earn games, whatever title or spin you want to have in it, and where it is right now. Because for those who have been very observant, a lot of the blockchain games have relatively been down. But what's interesting about that is I'm not just talking about in terms of price, and please do note that the entire crypto market, the entire NFT market also right now is relatively down from where it was at the peak of price movement upward at some point last year. But I'm talking about in terms of interest, I'm talking about in terms of people that are actually playing, the transactions that are there, tokens and cryptos that are locked in protocols that are highly connected to DeFi games. I guess what's so interesting about it is that when this started to boom at some point last year, brought about by Axie Infinity, especially for people who are in developing countries like the Philippines, we were on a lockdown and people needed to find ways to earn. Please do note the entire mechanism of SLP at that time, its market cap was relatively lower. There weren't a lot of Axies out yet. There weren't a lot of players out yet, making it not as diluted as where it is right now. Now, that being said, the SLP reward was higher, and as the SLP reward was higher, it gave people who were at home looking for ways to earn money without them going out so they don't get infected by the virus to actually earn while doing all of this. And that's why we saw it boom. It was so interesting that a lot of people started to buy NFTs highly connected to it. It was so interesting that a lot of people who had jobs quit their jobs. If you look at it from a scholarship perspective, those who are scholars, they really don't have much exposure because they're trading their time for them to actually earn. And for some that are employed, that are still working on their job, they're doing this as a side income, then generally it's low risk for them. At some point, Axie prices were high for those who wanted to buy the NFTs. It cost a lot of money for them to be able to buy a team. When Axie was successful and people saw it that I could actually make money from playing a game, a lot of other gaming projects started to come out and everyone wanted to get a piece of that space. And every time you see something that's new, every time you see something that's not yet as developed, there are a lot of bad actors, there are a lot of scams, and we've seen a lot of rug pulls also along the way. The way I look at it also is that if there's Bitcoin to the entire cryptocurrency market, you have Axie to the entire play to earn thing. And its success, at least from a sentiment standpoint, rides and falls on how Axie will actually be. There's a lot of things that contributed to where Axie is right now, and you look at the fact that they were hacked, which from a sentiment standpoint, every time you see something that's hacked, it's not something that's good. It's people are not optimistic every time you see projects get vulnerabilities like that. It still didn't solve one of the biggest issues that people raised at some point in 2021, that the reward token that they're giving out is SLP. And the more SLP you give out, the value of it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And if you look at where it is right now, its market cap is really, really big. The last time I checked, it had 2 decimal places, 0.05. For it to go back and move 1 or 2 decimal places, there's a significant hit in its market cap, which will be relatively hard. Now, that being said, add all of the issues from last year, rug pulls, scams, projects that really didn't do so well, projects that after a couple of weeks, it didn't really pan out, it didn't really progress, it didn't really go big, a lot of people lost money. I think it's a combination of all of that, that when people get burned, either if they bought cryptos or NFTs with an expectation that, oh, my friend made money off of this, and if I buy this NFT, I'll also benefit from it, and it doesn't go the way they want it to go, then you get bits and pieces of disappointment. And I think that's what's happening right now. Every time you see something like that, every time people disregard the downside and just favor the upside, that's the way investing is. There will come a point in time that since it's cyclical, things that are at its peak will reverse, and there will be portions and moments of it that it won't go the way you want it to go. Similar to every piece of technology, similar to also the dot-com bubble, it weeds out the projects that won't really matter over the long term. And I always give this example about Amazon, about Google, about Apple, that there were a lot of dot-com companies also at the end of the 1990s, the early 2000s, there were massive amounts of companies, but you only remember the ones that survive now. And I think that's how this entire Web3 gaming space will be, this GameFi will be, that it will be the good ones, the projects that will last, that will actually be there. Over the next few years, we're actually seeing games already start to develop things that they're building utility to the tokens, that they want it that people could use it inside and not just flip it back to fiat, not just flip it back to actually use. Because when there's no utility for the tokens that they're giving out or they're creating, or it's not something that they can use in an ecosystem, then the common tendency is just for people to sell it and bring it back to fiat, and it places a sell pressure. The good ones over the next few years will create utility for the token and the NFTs that they have, that people who are in the ecosystem, hodlers, stakers, players, investors, will also be rewarded without massive sell pressure on that particular token. Now, that being said, also, I've been a very, very big fan of this, and I've been saying this in all of my videos. The biggest utility in any NFT, in any game, and the ones that will have staying power, are when people play it, they actually enjoy it, they actually like it. Then earning just becomes a byproduct of them actually enjoying. I think that's what's gonna make it sustainable, not people coming into it just to earn. And if the earning mechanism is not sustainable, then it becomes relatively harder for it to actually sustain. People are saying that from where it is right now, this entire space may not really do well or go anywhere over the next few years. But what I'm saying about that is, watch out for the games that really care about the people playing, that really care about the people who are purchasing NFTs, that really care about people enjoying it. Because when people enjoy it, when there's a sense of enjoyment in the game that they have, people will come back, and that's ultimate utility. That also means that you have to take the time to study, to see which are the projects that are actually spending a large amount of time, effort, energy, and money and resources to make the project successful. It won't be this web-based project that was just made in a couple of weeks and people have an incentive to earn and there's no skill in the game, there's no enjoyment in the game, just click. I don't think that will be the games in Web3 that will prevail. It will go back to what made games in the 80s good, what made Mario good, what made Street Fighter on the 90s good, what made Counter-Strike really good, what made StarCraft up until now playable. It has to be fun. It has to be something that people like. And when you spot the games like that and you think no one has seen it yet, you deploy capital on projects that you know will be good, will be fun, and a broad number of people will actually play and like it. It will always go back to the most successful games are not the ones where people earn a lot from it, but it will be they're enjoying, they're having fun, and earning just becomes a byproduct of them having fun and enjoying. I'm gonna make more videos about this entire GameFi blockchain gaming space. I'm gonna answer your questions. If you guys have any, put them down below in the comment section, and I'm gonna try my best to be able to answer you to the best of my knowledge and my abilities. And if you guys have any suggestions of what you want me to talk about, put it down below. If you want to learn more about NFTs, the crypto space, and everything else in between, I have webinars for that. Links are in the description below. It's on demand. You can do it anytime. You can watch it. But never stop learning. Never stop taking the time to make yourself better. Never stop taking the time to build your skill, because at the end of the day, you are your greatest asset. Keep on investing on yourself. Keep on hustling. Keep on working hard, and keep on pushing. So that's it for now. Marvingermo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.